Thanks so much for joining us here on ANF Plus. I'm Joy Lim-Nakrin. So in case you missed it, here are some of the top stories that we have been following. And I want to start out in Fulton County, where they really want to take control of the Atlanta City Detention Center. They're hoping that the extra space can alleviate some of the ongoing problems at the Fulton County Jail. But the city of Atlanta says it is actually not for sale. Atlanta News First Sarah Hammond is at the Fulton County Jail to tell us why they're making this push right now.
Fulton County commissioners say acquiring the city jail is a top priority for them in this upcoming legislative session. And they say that the state is interested in possibly forcing that sale, though it's not clear what role the state could legally play in all of this. Fulton County commissioners say having the extra space would help manage their population. Currently, the city is leasing 700 beds to Fulton County, and they're currently using 425 of them. A spokesperson for Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens says the city of Atlanta is not interested in selling the city jail to Fulton County, saying, quote, "The city of Atlanta encourages Fulton County leadership to explore alternatives to alleviate this humanitarian crisis." Civil rights groups like the ACLU of Georgia also are not supportive of the county taking full ownership of the city's jail. But County Commissioner Dana Barrett says the move would offer more space and more direct supervision of inmates.
Having ACDC so close by, close to the courthouse, easy access for getting back and forth to court and things of that nature, it's the right space for us, and it's unused in large part.
And 15 people have died in the county's custody since the beginning of 2024. At the Fulton County Jail, Sarah Hammond for Atlanta News First.
And also right now, officials with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention are urging everyone, especially children, to get vaccinated. This is to protect yourself and protect others from viruses like flu, COVID, and RSV. Atlanta News First Asia Wilson has new data from the CDC headquarters in Atlanta.
We're entering peak virus season. It's the time of year where you're hearing more coughing and sneezing. And those routine vaccinations that kindergartners are required to get, well, according to the CDC, not as many are getting them compared to pre-pandemic times. Now, a new CDC report shows pre-pandemic, there was a 95% state-required vaccination rate. But in the last school year, it dropped to 93%. All of this as health officials say preventable diseases like measles are making a comeback. As of October 17th, this year alone, a total of 269 measles cases have been reported in more than 30 U.S. states. And according to the CDC, out of those cases, 88% of people were either unvaccinated or their vaccination status is unknown. And right now, preliminary data also showing there are more than 5 times as many cases compared this time last year. It's the reason why health leaders are saying vaccinations are your best bet.
Maintaining our vaccine rates, whether it's measles, whether it's pertussis, whether it's influenza, whether it's COVID, will make our society and our most vulnerable healthy and our future healthy.
And right now, families can order 4 COVID-19 at-home tests from the federal government. And we also know that the director of the CDC will be getting her vaccination updated today as well. From the CDC headquarters, Asia Wilson, Atlanta News First.
And now to DeKalb County, where the cost to save a crumbling school is now double. The budget is $50 million, but they're over that number. Druid Hills High School is over 100 years old. Parents say renovations are overdue. Atlanta News First, Bridget Spencer has more.
Michael Roper knew for a long time what he wanted to do.
I joined band in 6th grade after the movie Drumline came out.
Now, in a full circle moment in his life, he can say he has the job of his dreams, directing the band at Druid Hills High School.
I graduated in 2011 from this school. It's really surreal.
The campus, built in 1927, is full of character, but some feel it's time for an upgrade, especially after students shared this video on social media highlighting some dilapidated conditions.
It's time for that rebuild.
Monday, the DeKalb School District hosted its second meeting for parents and the community to learn more about the modernization project. The school board approved it originally for $50 million, but now the price tag may be between $80 to $100 million.
You also have cost escalations in the last 2 years for construction.
Chief Operations Officer Eric Hofstetter says parts of the campus are not even up to today's code. He hopes to modernize the campus while also preserving its charm.
To take the existing high school, modernize it, all right, and try to make it as contemporary as possible.
Monday's meeting was a chance for parents to prioritize what's important for them.
How important is it to having a large gym? How important is it to have an auditorium? And where does that rank on your list?
Safety is top of mind.
One of the scariest things is that 11-foot driveway to the back and the idea that fire engines can't get back there.
But also making sure the campus can be enjoyed by generations to come.
That's what I want them to see, is that we're taking care of what's coming our way and that it's a family.
Bridget Spencer, Atlanta News First.
Well, turning his love of cycling into another way to help the community he serves this weekend, this man is going to ride more than 1,000 miles to raise awareness for an organization to end child trafficking. Sawyer Bussey has more.
1,129 miles on a bike for 10 days from Michigan to Georgia. Officer Jansen Redkay will ride for an organization called Zoe International. The group works to end child trafficking.
Now that I've been educated in it and been through some training, you realize human trafficking, it's all over.
This is a solo ride, unsponsored, and while Jansen is a Sandy Springs police officer, this ride is separate from the department. He's doing this all on his own.
I used to be a big runner. That was kind of my therapy, just to kind of be alone, process my thoughts, things like that. Once I got injured, I ended up biking. And now I look at my running shoes, look at my bike, and the bike wins every time.
He switches up the destinations each year, but this is his 7th year doing the ride and his 2nd year fundraising.
Since I'm already doing these, why not turn them into fundraisers?
His last ride was a 1,000-mile journey from Austin, Texas to Georgia in 2022.
I have people that track me, and I have checkpoints, I check in, all that good stuff.
Push by push, mile by mile, Jansen is hoping his adventure will mean help and safety for someone else.
It's a solid donation that we have a link, QR code. All the money goes directly to a donation site that's set up through Zoe International.
In Sandy Springs, Sawyer Bussey.
So we were together 30 years.
And thanks so much to Sawyer for that report. You know, here's to a sobering story. An Atlanta woman is speaking out after losing her wife to suicide. And she spoke with Atlanta News for Sawyer Bussey, wanting everyone to know that you don't have to suffer in silence.
So we were together 30 years and married for 12 years before she passed away.
There are some losses that cut so deep, all you can do is count.
September 30th, 2021. 3 years and 10 days. She was perfect for me. I think we were perfect for each other.
September 30th, 2021 is the day Ellen Marks lost the love of her life.
But I had absolutely no idea that it was anything on the caliber of suicidal ideation.
Monica died of suicide. She was 57 years old.
And I can't stand it. I can't stand it. The love of my life is gone.
Ellen does what she can to honor Monica. One of the ways she does that is through the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention's Out of the Darkness Walk here in Atlanta.
So I use the walk, and we gather before the event for a big opening ceremony, and I talk to people about it.
Losing her wife is a heartbreak Ellen will be navigating for the rest of her life. There are things she wishes she could have said if she had known, that she now tells the community. You do not have to suffer in silence, and you are not alone. Sawyer Bussey, WPGA News.
Thanks so much for joining us here on ANF Plus. More on that and all of our top stories on our AtlantaNewsFirst.com website. Also by downloading our free app. If you sign up for alerts, you can also get updates sent right to your phone. Thanks for joining us. Now back to Local News Live.